Hey, really fast already. All right, just gonna finish getting this all set up here. Let's pull this up here. Hello. Welcome back to this week's live stream. We're going to be getting started in just a few minutes. I've started the stream a few minutes early as usual so that I can get things set up. This time I'm not going to be using my laptop to view comments. I actually have an old tablet that I got like 3 years ago or 4 years ago almost, and I'm going to be using that to read the comments on. That way I don't have to look I would normally look like across the room down at a chair to read the comments, but this time I can just look at them right away. Okay, let's see. Comments. Okay, let's just pop out the chat. There we go. Yes, I can see all the comments now, and they're nice and easy to read. Hello from Turkey, Macedonia. Awesome. Young. Johnny Michael, I just bought your book series. Awesome. Thanks, Johnny. Thanks for the support. I really appreciate when people buy my books. You know, I'm doing this Korean stuff, the YouTube and my book series, and answering people's questions. And I have a Discord, which I'll tell you about soon. I'm doing all of this. It's my full-time thing. I spend all of my time literally from the moment I wake up, after I take a shower, until way after I should be going to bed, sometimes 11 o'clock or midnight, just editing videos and working on new content. I really appreciate it. 빌리 선생님, Michael Jason. Oh, hey. I always think about Jason, like the programming thing, whenever I see your name. So I've seen your name a few times now. 케오님입니다. 안녕하세요. Hey. Poland, USA. Just reading your comments. Andreas Jacobson. Thanks, man. I've just got some water here. Jamaica. It's cool. Netherlands, Amsterdam. All 3 books. Awesome. From Texas. Dan J. Oh, from Australia. Hey. Rebecca Kroll. It's okay. Yeah, if you can't watch the stream, no problem. This will be uploaded live to my channel. You can watch it for free anytime you want. As last time, I'm going to be trying to keep this whole stream just under 2 hours, though that's never happened. I've always gone like 2.5 hours or 2 hours and 15 minutes, but I'm getting better. Today's lesson, I'm going to really try to keep it within 2 hours, so I've kind of scheduled how long I can talk about each topic. So I'll do like a 5-minute long introduction, and then I have 20 minutes each for the sections I'm going to do, and then enough time for 10, 15 minutes to 20 minutes for a test, like a little quiz at the end. Live stream guard on duty. All right. Is the stream quality okay, Ahimang? Yeah, Ahimang is my moderator here, and she helps out with a lot of stuff. I actually have a... So if you see me looking this direction today, I no longer am going to look down here because my laptop is not there anymore. Now I'm just watching with a tablet, which is much faster and closer to me, so I can see your comments right away. I don't have to like stop teaching and look down at a computer screen. I can just glance right next to my lesson plan. I have an outline. I have an outline for every lesson that I do. It's not exactly what I teach, but it's just kind of to guide me along. And I also upload these on Patreon. So if you're a Patreon supporter, you already know about this. So these are all on Patreon also. And that's just something like, I have a lot of stuff for Patreon people, and also YouTube members can get stuff like this too. And so check those out if you're already one of those people. But they're not necessary to do this lesson. It's just like an extra review. Yes. Livestream guard, your profile picture. From California. Andreas the DK. Yes, that does ring a bell. What's up? Glad to see you. But yeah, your books have been good so far, much better and feels more personal. Oh yeah, thanks. I tried to make them like personal. So it's kind of like you have a one-on-one tutor. because I learned, when I learned Korean, of course, I didn't have my books. So like people always say, like some people email me, they say, hey, Billy, can you give me your honest opinion? Are your books the best way to learn Korean? And honestly, I tell them like, I didn't have my books when I learned Korean, so obviously you don't need them. I like them, but I wrote them. But you can, if you're motivated to learn, if you want to learn and you put in the work to learn, you could learn without any of the current popular textbooks that are out there. I learned, like I mentioned in a video previously, that I learned with some textbooks that were really bad that I wouldn't recommend. A couple that I would recommend, but that weren't beginner friendly at all. And I just had to go out of my way a lot to like look up words and look up definitions. And I was confused most of the time because I didn't have people to give me answers. I didn't have a tutor. So these days, I think learning Korean is much simpler, relative, though it's still very difficult. But it's at that time, like, you know, we just had, there weren't very many books to learn Korean because Korean wasn't very popular yet. And I didn't get into Korean because I liked K-pop, because K-pop didn't really, it wasn't a thing. There was no such thing as like, well, there was, but it wasn't like a thing. You couldn't say, I like K-pop music. No one would know what that even meant. So no, I just liked Korean, the language. From Mexico. And I'm going to get started soon. I'm just reading a few of your comments, and then I'll get started with today's lesson. We're going to be covering how to change action verbs into adjectives, which is a very important topic that is for both beginners and intermediate Korean learners. So I'll explain this from both the perspective of a beginner and from the perspective of an intermediate learner. So that way you'll be able to get some extra information on that. Also write this here. I'm not going to talk about this very much, but I was going to write that there to remember it in case that comes up, I might mention that. That's another thing we might cover, just basically. 사람. Oh yeah, welcome to the membership. A few people joined the membership since last time. I can't see the list right now. I think 사람 was one of them. So if you do that, you get access to like some special emotes that you can use in the chat. And you also get access to use, like, you get a special icon next to your name, but it doesn't change the chat. I mean, it doesn't change anything else. You just get like some access to special, like, you know, outtake videos or something. But all the lessons are still free. Will you be making a fourth book? Nope. I won't be making a fourth book, at least not in the Korean Made Simple series, but I am making other books. Currently, I finished writing, a couple months ago, I finished writing a workbook for Korean Made Simple 1. It's an extra expanded workbook. So it's not required for the book. It's just extra practice for what's in the chapters. And I finished writing that, and currently I'm formatting it. So if everything goes according to plan, the book will be formatted. It'll be ready by, I want to say November, maybe the end of November, if everything goes really fast. And I'll try to make that as cheap as possible. It's just a companion book to Korean Made Simple 1, because I felt a lot of people were asking me, like, hey, I finished Korean Made Simple 1. How can I practice what I've learned? Like, where can I practice more? And, you know, I would tell them, you know, continue, you can go on to Korean Made Simple 2, but actually I want to give them more opportunities to practice that stuff. So it's kind of like a, you know, fun workbook with different exercises, you know, fill in the blanks or connect these words or matching or practicing with a partner, stuff like that, like what you would expect from a regular workbook. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay, make 3 versions of the workbooks with photo cards. I get rich, I wish. No, I'm not rich at all. I'm not wealthy. The amount I make right now is less, similar to what I was making at my last full-time job, which was not very much either, but it's enough to live, and I'll take it. Because I'd honestly want to do this even if I was still working a different full-time job. It was just really hard doing both because I was so busy doing my regular job from 8 a.m. until 6, and then come home and quickly try to edit and film videos. And yeah, it's much better now, but it's still, in exchange for that, since I'm not doing that regular other full-time job now, in exchange for that, I work a lot more now in making Korean lessons, so I can do more stuff than before. So I just made myself busier than I was originally. Okay, anyway, so I don't want to spend too much time. Let's just reading the chat. So I'll check your messages as it goes along, but if you say something and I don't look at it, or if it's really important and I don't reply, you can feel free to ask it again. Try not to spam the chat, but most of the time when I'm teaching, I won't be looking at the chat. So just kind of keep that in mind, because if I keep looking at the chat, we won't get anything done here. So, okay, so what we're going to be talking about today is how to turn action verbs, such as, let's take a simple action verb. All of you should probably know this. If you don't know this action verb, then you will not get anything out of this lesson, I promise you. This is the most basic action verb in all of Korean, 가다, to go. I would argue even more basic than 하다, to do, because this is always an action verb. Whereas 하다 can be attached sometimes to the descriptive verbs. Okay, so an action verb, of course, is any verb where you're doing something. So to open, opening, it's an action verb. To live, living is an action verb. Anything that's not an action verb will be anything that's not in action, anything you can't do. For example, to be pretty, 예쁘다, is not an action verb because you're not doing pretty, you're just to be pretty, you are pretty. Or to be hungry, you're not doing hungry, you just are hungry. So something that describes you or describes something is not an action verb. So anyway, an action verb, 가다. And let's take a noun. So we want to combine this with a noun. So we have the noun. Let's just take a really basic one. One of the easiest ones. Person. And like I mentioned, this lesson is for beginners and intermediate people. But if you're a brand new beginner and you're still learning Hangul, you're still learning the alphabet, or you've never seen these words before, don't torture yourself above your level. But it's going to be still geared toward people who know some basic Korean grammar and who can definitely read the alphabet. Then you'll probably still learn something from this lesson today. What we're talking about actually it's both beginner and intermediate at the same time. It has some beginner concepts in it. The whole concept is rooted in beginner Korean. Oh, I just got a message on my phone. Oh, I see. It's just my Instagram. Yes. Oh, and if you stay until the end, so if you're watching right now, at the end, I'm going to announce something about a Discord chat. Though, just in basic information about it. We're going to have a Discord, a community chat room you can come in anytime you want to get help with Korean and talk with other people who are learning Korean. And it's already been going on for a while. We've been doing a test run, and it's not ready to open yet, but we will be opening it up to some channel members, and then I'll announce more information. We'll open it up to everyone else, but it's really cool. So, okay, back to the lesson. So we have the verb 가다, to go, and we have a noun, 사람, person. So we can normally say, with basic Korean, without doing anything new, we could say something like 사람, well, actually, let's say 그 사람, right? That person, 그 사람, that person, let's just mark it. So let's just say it's the subject. So 그 사람이, that person, 가요, that person goes. Okay, this is a really basic sentence. You probably never say this sentence in real life just because, it's so straightforward and awkward. Like that person goes. Why? Where? What? Okay. But here's a basic sentence. 그 사람이 가요. That person goes. But what if we wanted to say a person who goes, right? In English, we have these words. We have these words like who or that, if it's an object also, like a building that is in Korea, a person who likes kimchi, a person that, which is the same meaning as saying who, a person that goes to Korea, a person who studies Korean, right? You can have all these ways to combine verbs and nouns that aren't like this. So you could say something like 그 사람이, let's do a different verb. This is the introduction to tell you what the whole concept is about. 공부해요. 그 사람이, that person, 공부해요. That person studies. Okay, so this is a very straightforward sentence, and this is more natural than the other sentence. So 그 사람이 공부해요. That person studies. What if we wanted to say, I like people who study. I like people who study Korean. Or even, I don't like people who study Korean. Well, we can say, 그 사람을 안 좋아해요. We can directly just say, you know, we can say 그 사람, I'm sorry, I'm writing it really quickly, but it's the same thing as above, except with for the object marker. 그 사람을 좋아해요. So 그 사람이 공부해요. 그 사람을 좋아해요. 저는, well, you could put 저는 before I. So that person studies. I like that person, right? This is how we might say it without knowing any other grammar. We could say, if you wanted to say, I like people who study, you might say 그 사람이 공부해요. That person's studying. And 그 사람을 좋아해요. I like that person, right? Or you might try to say 그 사람이 공부하기 때문에, as we learned in the previous lesson, because that person studies, I like him. You know, you can think of a bunch of ways to put it together, but none of them are just saying, I like people who study, right? This is completely different grammar to say that person studies and I like them, or just I like people who study. So let's look at one real world example before I go into what we're gonna do today. So I want to make the sentence, I like people who like Korea. Okay? So I like people who like Korea. I can't think of a way you could say this without using the grammar that we're going to do today. You could say, if someone likes Korea, I like them. 누가, or 사람이, a person, 한국을 좋아하면, if a person likes Korea, 제가 그 사람을 좋아해요. I like that person. It's kind of vague. If a person likes Korea, I like that person. It's really long-winded and it sounds unnatural. We just want to say, I like people who like Korea. So we're going to start with like Korea. To like Korea. How do you say to like Korea? Well, first, the verb for to like is a basic Korean verb. So 좋아하다 is to like. And Korea is 한국. So we get 한국을 좋아하다, to like Korea. And then we have I like. So we can have 저는 좋아. And I apologize for my writing every time because I'm writing like at an angle. So my writing kind of comes out worse than it is normally. Although my writing's not very bad, not very great in English either. Okay, 저는 좋아해요. I like. We don't know what you like yet, but we're just going to make these two pieces and we're going to put them together. 저는 좋아해요. I like. 한국을 좋아하다. To like Korea. So what we want to say is a person who likes Korea. A person who likes Korea. And I'll tell you how to do this in a moment, but I'm just going to show you first so you can kind of see an example. 한국을 좋아하는 사람. So here we have 사람 again. We have person likes Korea. So Korean liking person, 좋아해요. And we can stick the 저는, of course, at the beginning of a sentence. We don't need it. It doesn't come in the randomly in the middle. So we can have 한국을 좋아하는 사람을 좋아해요. I like people that like Korea. So we've combined two pieces to form one sentence where we're connecting them together. So we have I like a person, or people if you want to say, or you could even say I like monkeys who like Korea, or I like fish who like food. You can say anything you want just by switching around the verbs and the nouns and whatever it is you want to say. It doesn't have to be 좋아해요. It can be dislike. It can be where is the person who likes Korea. You can use it any way you want, and I'll show you how to do that in today's lesson. So this was just the basic introduction, and you can do this with intermediate Korean if you already know sentences, and you can also do this with very basic Korean too. So it's not limited to advanced Korean sentences or complex sentences. You can do it with very basic sentences too. Okay, I'm going to look at the chat for just a minute. Count yourself lucky. I'm taking notes, modding the chat, checking Discord. I know, Ahimang, you got to get some help. I mean, like another person to help you so that it's not too crazy taking care of all that. So worse than Billy. So maybe, Himong, you might be able to find someone in the chat here also, or in the Discord, just anyone you would trust to get help with that. That way it's not too much, because yeah, I wouldn't be able to do that. That's too much work. Okay, so this concept that we're doing today is actually not very new. I'll say that. This is not a brand new concept that you've never learned. If you've learned how to conjugate adjectives, I should say. If you know how to conjugate adjectives in Korean, if you know how to say, to take the verb, for example, 예쁘다, 예쁘다, to be pretty. Remember, this is a verb. It's not an adjective. It's just right now it's still a descriptive verb. If you can take this and change it into a descriptive adjective to describe something, if you can make this say a pretty monkey, you know, which becomes 예쁜 원숭이. If you can do this, then you can already do this. You just have to learn a new set of rules. Because the concept of adjectives in Korean is the exact same concept as what we're going to be learning today. Changing action verbs to adjectives. The reason is because this literally translates as the exact same as what this literally translates as. And I'll show you what I mean. So we can have the sentence, again, 한국을 좋아하는 사람. A person who, what was I trying to write there? A person who likes Korea. And we can have 예쁜, let's do cat. I'll do a pretty cat. 고양이. 예쁜 고양이. Okay, so these might look different in English when you translate them. A person who likes Korea, right? And then a pretty cat. So you might think, how are these related? How would these be the same form? This is clearly a person that likes Korea, or a person who likes Korea, and this is just a pretty cat, right? Yes and no. Actually, this literally does not mean just pretty cat. What you can think of this as meaning is a cat who is, because the verb 예쁘다 means to be, so is pretty, or a cat that is pretty. A person who likes Korea. Does this kind of make sense? What you're doing when you're conjugating a descriptive verb, such as to be pretty, to an adjective, is this exact same concept. But when you do this concept with action verbs, you have to add a different ending. So here you can see it's a 는, and we'll talk about what endings to add. And here you can see it's just a 니은. And the conjugating rules for descriptive verbs there's a lot of them, and I won't cover them today. I actually have a full video in my Learn Korean series on my channel that talks about conjugating descriptive verbs into adjectives. I think it's just called Adjectives. And you can watch that and learn all the rules for conjugating descriptive verbs into adjectives if you don't know how to do this already. It's pretty simple, but you have to memorize lots of little rules. You don't have to memorize very many rules to conjugate action verbs to adjectives. There's only 3, and they're all very simple. So we'll learn those. But there's a few more for this. Anyway, so what you're doing here is the exact same thing that you're doing here. If you say a handsome guy, you could also think of it as meaning a guy who is handsome. Or a person who likes Korea, you know, you can also think of this the other way, like an adjective. A Korea-liking person, right? Now we have an adjective, Korea-liking person. If it helps, sorry, I think my comments just, oh, I see the laptop just shut off. Okay, it's back. So you can think of it this way, a Korea-liking person, or a pretty monkey, or a person who likes Korea and sorry, I said monkey, I meant cat. And a cat who is pretty, or that is pretty. So it's the same concept. Have to go make drop biscuits for my family. Drop biscuits. Is Kikat a girl? Yes, Kikat is a girl. I even added this pink bow so that it's more clear. Kikat has always been a girl. But she doesn't mind if you think she's a boy, I think. Yes, Kikat is definitely a girl. Let's see. Whether it's a descriptive verb or an action verb, the thing that comes before the noun is modifying the noun. That's right. Everything that comes before, here before cat or before person, is what's modifying that noun. What's changing it. So we have a person. Well, what kind of person? We're going to modify that with 한국을 좋아하는, a Korea-liking person, or a person who likes Korea. Same with pretty, a pretty cat, or a cat that is pretty, a cat who is pretty. Okay, so let's talk about how to do this. It's not that hard, fortunately. Sometimes we cover concepts that require a lot more conjugating, but this one, the conjugation rules are fairly simple. And the first one we're going to talk about is present tense. And I'll have example sentences for each of these. So present tense. By present tense, I mean the example we just did, which is a person who likes Korea, right? Present just means the present right now, currently. So a person who likes Korea, a cat that is pretty, right? Present. We're not saying a person who liked Korea, who used to like Korea, past tense, and we're not using future tense. We're not saying a person who will like Korea. We'll talk about past and future tense too today, but first present tense, a person who likes Korea. To make the present tense and combine these together, you take a action verb stem first. So I'm just going to abbreviate that action verb stem as A, V, S. So for the verb 가다, the stem, remember you just remove the ta at the end. That's it. You have to first start with the full verb. You cannot start with a conjugated verb. It has to be the original verb that you would find in a dictionary. So if you're not sure if you're starting with the right type of form, type it into a dictionary. You can go to Naver Dictionary. Naver Dictionary is a free online dictionary. It has everything. It's great. Almost everything. It's great. You can type it into Naver Dictionary and find out what is the verb that ends in ta. You'll see it. It's something blah, 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 ta. That's it. That's what you want. So take that, remove the ta at the end, and now you have the verb stem of an action verb. Then all you do is you attach nun. So to make this, you just attach nun to the verb stem. And you're done. With one exception. One small exception, and this exception applies to past tense, present tense, and future tense. First, if it has this letter is called a liel. If it has this letter at the bottom of the verb stem, for example, 살다, to live, before you do this, so you take the verb stem, and then before you add the ending, you remove the liel. That's it. And this is the same for all three tenses we're going to learn today: present tense, past tense, and future tense. Were you getting in a complex structure where it's more than one adjective? We're not going to be talking about combining adjectives in today's lesson, but you can use I kind of already talked about that though when I talked about sentence connectors, and I covered the one for 고, which means and. So you can combine adjectives with 고, this and that. So pretty and smart, funny and happy. And you just use 고 between them, just like the word and. So yeah, so I'm not covering it today. That would be a different topic, but I kind of already did. Yeah, so okay. So that's the only exception you have to learn is with this letter. So let's look at some examples. We have people who study Korean are pretty. Okay, let's make this sentence. People who study Korean. I'm just going to put this up here because it's going to be something to remember. So we want to make this sentence. People who study Korean are pretty. So to do that, we need to get a few words. We're going to need to get pretty. Let's get pretty first, because we already did this. Pretty is 예쁘다. Study Korean. 한국어. 한국어를 공부하다. We also just did this. Same verb. People, 사람. Okay? People who study Korean are pretty. Now we have all the words that we need to use this form. So we want to get, first, let's take, if we're going to break this sentence apart to make it a little easier to understand, you can, in English, if you're trying to translate, you can remove the part that says who or that. So, who study Korean? So let's just look at the rest of the sentence and let's remove this part that we're going to make and first look at the rest of the sentence. People are pretty, okay? People are pretty. This is what we're going to say first. Oops. So people, 사람들, because plural, 사람들이 예뻐요. People are pretty, okay? We have a perfectly natural piece of a sentence right here. Actually, you could just say, 사람들이 예뻐요. People are pretty. And they'll say, okay, good for you. But no, we're going to specify what kind of people are pretty. So, we want to say people who study Korean are pretty. So now we got the rest of the sentence, who study Korean, or that study Korean. Like I mentioned, it's the same thing. So to do that, we have study Korean, 한국어를 공부. Now we have 공부하다 is an adjective verb, action verb. What was I trying to say? Adjective and action at the same time. 공부하다, to study, is an action verb. So we remove the verb stem of 공부하다. 하다, right? Remove the verb stem. We don't have to do anything else. And then attach 는. 한국어를 공부하는, who studies Korean, 사람들이, people, 예뻐요, pretty. People who, so we have people are pretty. What kind of people? Well, let's modify it. What kind of people are pretty? 한국어를 공부하는 사람들이, people who study Korean. People that study Korean are pretty. So this is all that we're doing, is we're describing a noun. And you can describe a noun with an adjective, right? You can conjugate an adjective and say, pretty people are pretty if you want. Or tall people are pretty. Or short people are pretty. Or whatever you want. But this lesson is about, you can also do that with verbs, with action verbs. So you can describe what the people are doing, or what the people think, or what the people like, or anything else about the people, not just an adjective, like in English. So I like people who study Korean. Okay, does this make sense so far? Am I going too fast? Does this kind of connect together? Are you following it? Let me know before I continue. Burn my confidence. How long can the phrase before 예뻐요 be? As long as you want. You can say, I like people who study Korean and eat kimchi every day and like BTS and are also Korean teachers. And, you can do as much as you want. And you would connect these phrases. So for example, I'll show you that. 김치를 먹다. Okay, I know this is you might think this is like some racist sentence. I'm just throwing it in there because I like kimchi. Okay, don't misunderstand me. 김치를 먹다. To eat kimchi. Okay, so I want to say I like people who study Korean and eat kimchi. Right? All you have to do is you can add to the sentence as much as you want. Pretty much, you're just connecting one sentence with another. So we have 김치를 먹고 eat kimchi and study Korean. So people who eat kimchi and study Korean. Now we have a much longer sentence. I like people who, or not I like, but people are pretty. What kind of people? Well, people who eat kimchi and study Korean. I like, or if we translate this all together, we get people who eat kimchi and study Korean are pretty. I think that in this case, the Korean sentence has more of a logical flow. 김치를 먹고 한국어를 공부하는 사람들이 예뻐요. Eating kimchi and studying Korean, people are pretty. Don't say BTS. I will say BTS as much as I want to say BTS because they're popular in Korea right now and K-pop fans love them. Although they're not really popular yet mainstream in America, but as for K-pop groups, they're definitely the most popular K-pop group to ever be. Armies have 3 trigger words. Yes, they are. Billy, you are blind. All right. Do you know anything? Anyway, so does this kind of make sense then? So we can say as much as you want before this. In fact, we can even go further. So I'm just trying to show you how versatile this form is. So let's just say, I want to say, I like people who eat kimchi are pretty. Okay, so I'm gonna take this one step further. So 김치를 먹는 사람들이 예뻐요. People who eat kimchi are pretty. Okay, but I want to say people who eat kimchi and are smart, right? I like people who eat kimchi and are smart. Or why I keep saying I like? I think my previous example was I like, and I keep saying that. So people who eat kimchi and are smart are pretty, okay? So we're gonna need not only an action verb, but we actually just need a descriptive verb. So 김치를 먹고, people who eat kimchi, and smart is 똑똑하다. One of the ways to say it. 똑똑한, so we just use the adjective, which means smart. So this is already a conjugated adjective, smart. You could just say 똑똑한 사람들이 예뻐요. Smart people are pretty, using regular adjectives. Or we can also combine that with a regular phrase. So 김치를 먹고 똑똑한 사람들이 예뻐요. So people who are smart and eat kimchi, or literally eat kimchi and are smart. And although this is not a natural sentence at all, because why would you think people who eat kimchi and are smart are pretty? It's just so random. But I'm trying to illustrate the grammar for you. And hopefully when you make your own sentences, you'll do it with something you actually need to say, and not just with random phrases to demonstrate grammar. I really like giving random sentences that make no sense in my examples, because I feel like it forces you to focus on the grammar more than the actual words that I'm using. Because I want you to learn the grammar more than just the phrases I'm giving you. Now, anyone can memorize phrases, but if you learn the grammar, like, you know, give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day, teach a man to fish, and he'll sit in a boat and drink beer all day. Kind of like that phrase. I want to give you guys the ability to make your own sentences more than just a few phrases you can use on your own. Okay, so that's the present tense. Let's do one more. So let's say, is there someone you know here? So you go to a party. And you look around and you see no one. It's a party, it's a high school party. And you go to your high school party and you're just looking around, you don't see anyone, there's no friends. Like, this is weird, I thought I knew people. And someone walks up to you, the principal says, "Hey, welcome Billy, thanks for coming. Are you having fun? Is there someone you know here? You know, did you meet any of your friends? Is there anyone you know?" Okay. We can also do this type of sentence with this form too, because, you know, it actually is this. Is there someone who you know here? A lot of times in English, this might be confusing, but a lot of times in English, we don't say who or that. Like you can say, is there someone that you know here? Or is there someone who you know here? But a lot of times in English, we just remove the who. We just say, is there someone you know here? That's typical. But in Korean, you can think of this as being here, and it might make it easier to translate from English to Korean. So we have, is there someone who you know here? We can also use this here. We can also use this here with this form. So we're going to need a few words. We're going to need to say here, which is 여기. Know, which is 알다, to know. Is there? Well, that's 있다, to exist. Someone. Someone in Korean is easy. There's a few ways to say it, but let's just do it. Let's just do it with 사람, a person. Is there a person who you know here? Right? So we can make this sentence also by breaking it apart. So we're going to take it again. Looking at the part that starts with who or that, let's break that out first. Who you know. So let's do that second, and let's do the other part first. Is there someone here? Okay? 여기에 사람이 있어요. Hopefully you can see the right side of the thing. Okay, yes you can. Good, good. 여기에 사람이 있어요. Is there a person here? Is there someone or a person here? 여기에 사람이 있어요. So let me write this over here so I have more room. Okay, so what kind of person? What kind of person? We can describe specifically what kind of person by using to know. Someone who you know. You don't have to say you in Korean, and I'll do another lesson about that later. It's not really necessary to say you unless you need to be specific. So you could be specific, but we're not going to be right now. So we have to know, which is 알다. So to do that, we take the verb stem by removing the 다. Then it ends in a lir. It ends in this letter, so we're going to remove that too. And then we attach 는. So we have 아는. 여기에 아는 사람이 있어요. Is there someone here? What kind of person? Is there a no person here? Is there a person that you know? So here, no person. Is there? Is what it would be literally, word for word in Korean. Is there someone here? Is there someone who you know here with 아는? And this is all present tense because it's you know, not someone. Is there someone you knew here? Is there someone you will know here? Those are different tenses, past tense and future tense. This is present tense. Is there someone who you do currently, right now, in the present, know? Who's here? Okay, let me look at the chat for a minute. So adverbs and adjectives are conjugated. Adverbs? No, we haven't talked about adverbs today. The board has light on it? Oh, let me fix that. Thanks for letting me know. Let's see if that's better. I can move it a little further. 1 second. There we go. The other lights you're seeing are actually coming from above. They're coming from my room light, so I can't really get rid of those, unfortunately. At least, let's see if I do this. Yeah, okay, that kind of gets rid of it. Okay, I'll do that. Can the order be either way? Can the descriptive verb go before the action verb? 똑똑하고 김치를 먹는 사람들을 좋아해요. Yes, you can. Exactly. You can do it either way because you're just connecting and. So whichever one you want to say first. Do you want to say someone who eats kimchi and is smart, or someone who is smart and eats kimchi? It's up to you. So yeah, either way is okay for Shadow Knight 82. Now you're just somebody who I used to know. I feel like that's a song. I just can't think of the melody right now. I swear I know that song. Okay, next. Okay, so everyone, I'd recommend you take notes. At the end, we're going to be doing a short quiz, and I'm going to ask you to translate some sentences. So the next thing, we've done present tense. Now let's do something called progressive tense. Actually, I wrote this wrong on my paper. I wrote present twice. Progressive. Okay. Progressive tense. Just like the 고 있다. If you haven't seen this form already, it's called progressive. Progressive because it's something you're currently doing. I'm not going to be teaching this form today because it's a whole nother lesson. But I do want to cover it really quickly because it's kind of related to the present tense. So we have present tense, which is something you're currently doing. Progressive tense, which is something that emphasizes that it's right now. So if you want to emphasize, not only do I do it, but I'm doing it right now. Currently, I am studying right now. Then you can use the progressive tense, which is just the action verb stem plus 고 있다. And for this one, so this is more if you're intermediate. So you want something new. I'm just going to show you really quickly how to do it. It just becomes 있는 for present tense. That's it. So you can say 공부하는. Again, this is more for intermediate people because if you're a beginner, you might not even know this form yet. 공부하는 원숭이, a monkey who is studying. But you could also say with this form, or a monkey who studies, right? Or you could say 공부하고 있는 원숭이, a monkey who currently is, right now, studying. So if you wanted to say in the zoo there is a monkey who studies, you could say 공부하는 원숭이. Like there's a monkey and the monkey studies in there. Maybe not right now, but studies. Sometimes there's a monkey who does studying. If you check there right now, maybe you'll see him studying. But if you were to say 공부하고 있는 원숭이, it means there's a monkey right now. If you go to the zoo, you will see there is a monkey with his book open studying Korean. So that's the difference between the two forms. But it's really easy to make. It just becomes 있는. But I should note that this 있다 is actually more of a descriptive verb than an action verb. It can function as both. I'm not going to talk about that today. I'll make a lesson about that later. But you only need to learn it becomes 있는 with this form in the present tense. Because I figured someone's going to ask about that. And I know I do have a few people in here right now who are intermediate or watching. So I want to make sure you can get something out of it. It just becomes 있는. So really easy. No other rules for that. But it's not really an action verb, so I wouldn't normally cover it otherwise. Okay. Actually, let's do one more example with that. I can do it like this. What am I writing? I have to finish my syllable before I start the next one. Okay. 지금 보고 있는 영화가 뭐예요? 지금 보고 있는 영화가 뭐예요? This means, well, try to guess what it means. I'm going to explain the part. So 지금 is now, specifically right now. 지금, right now. 보고 있다, which comes from 보다, to watch or to see. And then we have 영화, movie. And then we have 뭐예요, or just specifically 뭐, which means what, or what is. So what is the movie you are currently, notice it has the connection here, 는. So what is the movie that you are currently watching? What movie are you watching? This is how you would ask your friend or ask someone you know, what movie are you watching? 지금 보고 있는 영화가 뭐예요? What is that movie that you're watching right now? If you didn't use this form, you would not be able to make that sentence. You could just ask, 그 영화가 뭐예요? If you didn't have this form and you're just trying to, you want to know what movie they're watching, you would be limited to this sentence alone. 그 영화가 뭐예요? What is that movie? Right? But you don't want to just say that movie. You want to say, what's the movie you're watching right now? Like, I'm not pointing to some random movie on the wall. I'm talking about what's on TV. 지금 보고 있는 영화가 뭐예요? So knowing this form opens up your sentences to a lot more possibility. So even though this is not complicated grammar, it's not more complicated than just saying it. Just saying 그 영화가 뭐예요? It's really no more complicated than that. But it lets you use basic grammar to combine it to make much more complicated and much more natural sounding sentences without too much extra work. What movie are you watching right now? That's right. I don't know what's going on that uses 보고 싶다. 보고 싶다 is a different, completely different grammar form, which means to do something. Do Koreans say the whole thing naturally? Yes, this sentence would be fine. 다 makes it a verb. If it has 다 in it, then yes, it could be a verb. Oops, I just scrolled to the very top. I didn't want to do that. Oh, I can push there. Yay. 보고 싶은 영화가 뭐예요? Yep, and you can use that too, though that's not, 보고 싶은 would be using a descriptive verb, which is just conjugating a descriptive verb to an adjective, which would also be totally fine to do. This is simply how to do it with action verbs. 보고 싶은 영화가 뭐예요? As Conrado de Guzman wrote, which means what movie is it that you want to see? Or what movie is it that you want to see? So it's the same sort of grammar, just with a descriptive verb instead of an action verb. That's a good sentence too. Can you save this video? Yes, every video will be saved. Yeah, start off simple. If you're watching this and you're thinking, oh, I'm so confused, you're in the wrong lesson. It's for if you've already learned the alphabet and you've learned some very basic grammar and a few verbs and nouns, you know, low beginner, but not brand new beginner. I might do a live lesson for brand new beginners in the future. I'd like to do that too. But these lessons mostly so far have been for low beginner. So you have to already know some basic things, or this is going to be over your head. You would get more out of just watching a basic lesson than watching this if you don't know that stuff yet. Okay, so just one more example there. Just trying to illustrate how you can use it with the progressive tense. Next form. Let's talk a little bit more about 있다. So I said that like the form 하고 있다 becomes 하고 있는. That's because 있다 itself becomes 있는 when used. So anytime you have 있다 and you want to exist and you want to use this before a noun, it becomes 있는. So this is just something you can memorize. Although I know I said I'm only talking about action verbs to adjectives, and this is not 있다 to exist. It's not really an action verb, although it can be used as one. That's another concept. It's typically as a descriptive verb, but you can use this to say something like, I bought an apartment that is in Korea. So we have these two parts. I bought an apartment that is in Korea. Okay, so we have these two parts. That is in Korea, and I bought an apartment. So I bought an apartment is just 아파트를 what am I doing? 샀어요. I bought an apartment. What kind of apartment? We're going to describe it here. We're going to say that is in Korea. 한국에 있는. So 한국에 있어요 by itself would just mean it is in Korea. 아파트를 샀어요 means I bought an apartment. So I want to say I bought an apartment that is in Korea. 한국에 있는. So we have the 는 here. 있는 아파트를 샀어요. I bought an apartment, and the apartment is, just to describe the apartment is in Korea. It is in Korea, or that is in Korea. You know, that or who, depending on whatever you'd want to translate it as. So we can use that too for the same type, using the same form with 있는. And the reason I mention this is, although this isn't necessarily an action verb, it has the same action verb conjugation, so it does fit into this lesson. But you might also learn 있는 when you're covering how to conjugate descriptive verbs. So if you already know that, then this is just a review. Okay. 식당 있는 고양이 봤어요? What do you mean? You don't have to say 저는 or 나는. Yep, that's right. You don't have to say 저는 or 나는 unless it's not clear who you're talking about. Dormant kid, I'm not sure what it is you're trying to say, but I do have a lesson on how to say while in my Learn Korean series on my channel. There's a video about how to say while. So check out that video first and then come back and make the sentence again and I'll try to correct it. But we're not going to cover how to say while today. That's a different topic. Okay, let me just drink some water. Okay, the next form we're going to learn. Let's see, how am I doing on time? 2:53. Okay, we're doing okay. The next form is past tense. So far we've only learned how to say I bought a house that is currently in Korea in the present. I like people who are studying Korean. Or is there anyone here who you do currently know? You know, all of these sentences have been in the present tense, but you can also conjugate this to be in the past tense. For example, you could say, I like people who liked Korea. Although, you know, it's very awkward. I'm not sure why you would say this sentence, but you could. You could say, people who studied Korean are pretty. You could say, is there anyone here who you knew? Is there anyone at the party who you knew before? Who wrote the book? Do you know who wrote, not is writing, but who wrote in the past, the book? So let's make that sentence. I think that'd be the most natural sounding sentence out of all the ones I've just thrown out here. So let's see. Who is the person who wrote the book? Here we can say who is the person who or who is the person that. I'll just do that so it's a little less confusing, but it's the same thing in English. Who is the person that wrote the book? So again, let's break this up again. So who is the person is going to be our first part. That wrote the book is going to be describing a person. So what kind of person are we asking about? Well, the person we're asking about is a person that wrote the book. So who is the person? 사람이 누구예요? Okay, now you would never ask this by itself, just saying 사람이 누구예요? Who is person? It sounds really awkward, but we'll work on that. So who is person? You think, who is a person? What person? What are you talking about, right? If you were to say 사람이 누구예요? It would just be like, who is a person? Who is the person? And it grammatically is okay, but it makes absolutely no sense. You would never just say, who is the person? They would say, what person, right? So we're going to describe what person we're talking about. Well, the person we're talking about is the person that wrote the book. 책 is book. 책을 쓰다 is to write a book. To write a book. 책을 쓰다. So we have 쓰다 to write and 책 a book. So we need to combine 책을 쓰다 with the person. Well, in our previous example, we would just remove the verb stem and add 쓰는, but then we would have a different meaning. Who is the person who writes currently, present tense? Who is the person who writes books? That's not what we want to say. We want to say who is the person who wrote the book. For example, you're asking about the author of a book and they're talking about, oh, I love this book. Then you want to say, oh, who's the person who wrote the book? You wouldn't write, who's the person who writes the book? Because they're not writing it. They already wrote it. It's in the past. It already happened. For that, we need a different form, which is actually not very difficult to make. So I'll leave 쓰다 here so you can look at it for a bit. To make the past tense, you take an action verb stem, just like before, and you attach either one of two things. Oops, sorry, not you attach either un, or you attach a nian, which is this letter. You might think of it as an N, It's not an N, it's softer than an N, but this letter, or an Un. If the verb stem ends in a consonant, so anything that's not a vowel, then you'll add Un. And if the verb stem ends in a vowel, you'll add a nian. And that's it. Again, also if the verb stem ends in a lir, you would remove it first before doing this. So if you have the verb 살다, to live, right? You remove the ta. Oh, it has a lir, so you remove the lir, and then you look at it, it ends in a vowel, so we just attach san. Or we can have another verb, 먹다, to eat. To use this in the past tense, someone who ate or something who ate, you remove the ta, it ends in a consonant, so we add un to the end, so 먹은. And that's pretty much all there is to it. This form is also quite easy to use, and once you understand how this form works, knowing how to use it in past tense or present tense or future tense is trivial. It's easy. You just have to remember what to attach onto the end. Let me look at the chat just for a minute. Retro AG was close. Your answer was close to the right answer. So yes, so for this, 쓰다, we want to say wrote. So we take the ta away, just like we did before. It ends in so it doesn't have a consonant. There's no consonant there. So we just attach a nian. 쓴, 책을 쓴 사람이 누구예요? Who is the person who wrote the book or a book? You know, it would depend on the context whether you want to say this book or that book or a book. 책을 쓴 사람이 누구예요? And that's it. Pretty simple. See what? It's the same exact concept as with present tense. So once you learn one tense really well, you just apply the same logic to any sentence you want. Let's do another sentence though. Oops, didn't mean to erase that part yet. We're still in the past tense. We're going to go back to the future next. So let's do, actually, let's say similar sentence, but I want to do an example to check if you understand this. I want to meet the person who wrote the book. How would you say, I want to meet? Meet is 만나다. In fact, I'll just give it to you, the ending. 만나고 싶어요 means I want to meet. So how would you say, I want to meet the person who wrote the book? It's similar to our last sentence, we just got to change the ending. So how would you say that? Do you have a lesson on Ninji? Yes, I do. Adam Swenson, check out my Learn Korean series the video called Weather and If. That does cover that in basic detail. I believe my second book covers has a full lesson on that with all the tenses and everything. But I have a short video which does answer those forms as well. 책을 쓴 사람이? Nope, not 쓴 사람이. Someone got it. 책을 쓴 사람을 만나고 싶어요. Skit 42, SKITT 42, you got it. Because we're going to say 사람, 그 사람, so we have the same thing, 책을 쓴 사람을. Remember, since we're meeting someone, we use the object marker, not 이. 이 would be for when we're describing that, like 누구예요, who is it? But since we want to meet them, we'll use I want to meet that person who wrote the book. 만나고 싶어요. 책을 쓴 사람을 만나고 싶어요. I want to meet. Who do you want to meet? Well, I want to meet the person. What person? The person who wrote the book. And if you're confused about object marker and subject marker, I will be making a live stream about that someday, but not yet. It depends what you guys vote for. I'll open up the voting again after today's live stream. And again, I have an outline of today's live stream. I'll also be posting this on Patreon, so check that out if you're one of those people. But if you're paying attention and writing notes, you probably don't need the outline because I cover out pretty much everything on the outline and more. Okay, let's see if there's anything else I want to do. Oh, yeah, okay. So I want to say The pasta I made, the pasta that I made. So we have past tense, made. Was, another past tense. I'll just write it in Korean because I don't need to have you guess. Mashi, that's a really weird letter. Mashi opta. Mashi opta means to not be delicious, to be disgusting. It's not necessarily disgusting, just doesn't really mean disgusting. It just means not good, did not taste good. I won't write disgusting. There's other words for disgusting. So, the pasta that I made did or was not taste good. So how would you say this sentence? Well, I'll break it up together with you. So the basic thing we need to say in the sentence is, well, we're going to take out what kind of pasta. So the pasta I made, well, what kind of pasta is it? It's pasta that I made. And we need to say the sentence, the pasta was not good. The pasta was bad. The pasta did not taste good. So, pasta 가, let me check, can you see down there? Yes. 파스타가 맛이 없었어요. 파스타가 맛이 없었어요. The pasta was not good. Pasta did not taste good. Now let's describe the pasta. What pasta are we talking about? Are we talking about the orange pasta? Are we talking about the big pasta plate? Are we talking about the delicious pasta? That doesn't make sense. The delicious pasta was not delicious. Are we talking about the expensive pasta, right? You can say expensive here. No, we're talking about the pasta that I made. Not the pasta that was expensive or the pasta that was pretty or anything. The pasta that I made. So to say I made, again, made is 만들다. 만들다, to make. Notice that 만들다, the verb stem has a lir, this letter in it. So we're going to remove it. So I made. 제가. And then we have 만들다, right? I'm just going to put this here. So 제가 만들다 means I make, or I make. Doesn't make any sense. Okay, so 제가 만들다. So we want to say I made. 제가 만든. So we remove the lir, and because it ends in a vowel, we add a nian directly to the bottom. 제가 만든 파스타. The pasta that I made. 제가 만든 pasta. Or someone else, you know, the pasta that 철수. 철수's a good guy. 철수가 만든 pasta. The pasta that 철수, you know, Bob, the pasta that he made. 엄마가 만든 pasta. The pasta my mom made. But here we're going to do 제가. 제가 만든 파스타가 맛이 없었어요. The pasta that I made is delicious. Real LJH. Yes, that's right. Is future tense. And we're going to be talking about that next, which is actually, it works the exact same way as this. So once you learn one tense, the other tenses all work the exact same way. But I did want to cover all tenses separately because I feel like this is a concept you need to practice to get the hang of how to translate these types of sentences, how to think about how other action verbs and descriptive verbs can modify a noun. Just thinking that way is different. I think it takes a lot of practice. So that's why I'm doing these separately and not just say, here's the form, here's past tense, present tense, and future tense. So I'm doing it individually because of that. 빌리가 만들은, not 만들은. Remember, because it ends in a lir, so it's not 만들은, it's 만든. You remove the lir before you do this. 파스타가 맛이 없었어요. The rest of it, though, is perfect. The pasta that Billy made is not delicious. Chursu is a nice guy. That Go Billy Korean merch. If someone designs me, if someone designs Chursu is a nice guy on a T-shirt in a cool design, then I'll pay you for it. And I'll put the design on a T-shirt and I'll print some. I want to do design. I want to do some merchandise. I just haven't thought about exactly like what designs would be good. So yeah, if you have any suggestions for merchandise you'd want to get, feel free to send me an email or a message. It's really okay to use 2 subject particles. Yes, you can use as many subject particles as you want. There's no rule against it. 빌리가 만든 파스타가 맛이 없었어요. There you go, Ocean Discovery. 좋아. Nice. You would totally buy merchandise. I would totally buy merchandise. I actually have 2 merchandise items that I haven't listed for sale yet, but I made a pillow. I'm going to buy the pillow for myself. It has Kiket's face and my face on the other side. And then some stickers. I want to do some other cute things. I just haven't, I don't have a designer. I can't draw and I don't have a designer. So it's hard. Yeah, I was discussing this with Ahimang the other day. So I'll do that. We're working on it. I'd like to do it. It's not just to sell stuff to make money, because honestly, the merchandise that YouTube offers us, the options aren't very profitable. It might be like $20 for a pillow and then I make like $3 from it. It's something like that. It's not to make money. It's just because I think they would be cool items to sell and it doesn't cost me anything to make them. So I'll do that, but later. Go Billy hug pillow. Yeah, full body pillow. Okay, so let's do the next sentence here. Okay, so past tense. Does past tense make sense? It's the exact same as present tense, but something that's in the past. And like I said, you don't have to make the second verb in the past. You can make the second verb in the present. 맛이 있어요. The pasta that I made, 만든, 파스타가 맛이 있어요. Is currently, I'm eating it right now, is good. 제가 만든 파스타가 맛있어요. The pasta right here, oh, I'm eating the pasta that I made, right? It doesn't have to be in the same tense. In case you were curious, like, oh, do I have to do past tense with the past tense? It has to be something I did that was. No, you can mix and match however you want. You can say, the pasta that I make, 제가 만드는, right? So present tense. Remember, you still remove the lir, you still remove this letter. So we have 만드는 in the present tense, and you can say, 파스타가 맛있어요. The pasta that I make, I regularly in the present, I make pasta all the time, and the pasta that I make tastes good. You can say it like that too, or tasted. That's really, really messy. Just pardon this completely. No, this is too bad. I can't recover from that. I have to redo that. 없었어요. So I had pasta one night and the pasta was bad. The pasta that I normally make. The pasta that I'm making right now these days. 제가 만드는 파스타가 맛이 없었어요. Because I tried it and it was really bad. You can say it like that. You can mix and match. However you want your sentence to be. As long as you remember the conjugation rules for how to use it. You can mix and match however you'd like. Okay, future tense. Future tense is, if you're good with past tense, you'll be good with future tense. Because future tense works almost the exact same way. Wait, someone's saying, 빌리가 입는 모자를. Okay, that's a good sentence. 모자, I just want to correct one thing. Because you're buying something, so you have to mark it with the object marker. Since it's not the one, the hat is not doing something. 빌리가 입는, but you're perfect. The hat that Billy wears. So Ocean Discovery has a really good sentence. 빌리가, oh, actually, sorry. Almost perfect sentence. Almost perfect sentence. 입다 is to wear something like a shirt or pants. 쓰다, which we also talked about, means write. It also means to wear a hat or something on your head, like glasses or, a mask. So you should say 빌리가 쓰는, the hat that Billy wears. 모자. 빌리가 쓰는 모자가 예뻐요. Or 빌리가 쓰는 모자를 사고 싶어요. I want to buy the hat that Billy wears. And there's more words for her to wear, but these are some basic ones. So, 쓰다 for hat, 입다 for shirt or pants. Other than that, you probably just didn't know that word. So great job on the sentence. Watching from Pyeongtaek? Oh, nice. I know Pyeongtaek. It's not too far from where I stay whenever I go to Korea. I stay in Suwon, usually. Please put your trademark shirt plaid color pattern on your merchandise. I will. I like this. I like these colors also. Okay, but that was a good sentence. Nice way to use the forms. So the next one is future tense. Oops, I also wrote this wrong too. Future tense. I'll make some updates to that before I upload it. So you could say, I like the hat that Billy wears. I like the hat that Billy, oops, the just tablet turned off again. Okay, you could say, trademark shirt plaid color pattern. Why do we remove the lir from mandir? The easy answer is, it makes it easier to pronounce. It's due to pronunciation. That's the easy answer. The other answer is, it's just a grammar rule, but the actual answer is, it's due to making it easier to pronounce. A lot of rules in Korean, I'll talk about this in a video in the future, but a lot of sound change rules, a lot of pronunciation rules in Korea came about simply due to making them easier to say. Not everything. Some of them were different reasons, but most of them are to make it easier to say. So they're in your benefit. Trying to say 만들는 would be literally impossible, so that's why it's 만드는. Or 만들는 for like past tense. It's just weird. So it's for your convenience. So future tense, oops. Future tense is very simple. It is exactly the same as past tense for conjugation. You take an action verb stem and you attach if it ends in a consonant, and you attach lir just by itself, just this letter, if it ends in a vowel. So you would have 하다 would become 하 after you remove the ta, 할, and you could have 먹다 to eat, which would become 먹 after you remove the ta, and then Careful when using these. Anyway, so that's all you have to do. And other than that, it's the future tense. So you could say something like, we had previously, I like the hat that Billy wears, as Ocean Discovery made the sentence, I like the hat that Billy wears, which would be present tense. I like the hat that Billy wore would be past tense. And future tense, I like the hat that Billy will wear. I can't really think of why you would make this sentence specifically, but I'll give you some better examples. But that's exactly what the future tense is. And again, if the verb stem ends in this letter, just like before, remove it before doing this. This actually might seem confusing though, because in this case, it uses this letter. So if you have something like, again, I'll use something else. 팔다 is to sell something. 팔다. So first you remove this. Oh, and it has a lir, it has this letter, so we got to remove it. But now it ends in a vowel, so we put it back on. So it might be confusing that you're thinking, oh, wait, if maybe you've seen this form before and you're not sure what it means. That's why. It's because as soon as you remove this letter, you add it right back on due to this form. So in this situation, like 살다 also just becomes 살 because you remove the ta and you remove the lir and then you add it back. So it becomes the original form again. Just don't kind of remember that this is why it might appear to be the exact same as the dictionary form without the ta. It's just because it removes it and then adds it right back on. But it's the same rule as all of the other forms. So you don't have to memorize some special rule for this. It's the exact same rule. That's just why it happens. Oh yeah, something about Discord. I'll mention the Discord at the end of this chat. But that's going to be it's a big channel that we're preparing, and we have to get some more moderators to help out with that too. But it's just going to be a big place for practicing Korean with other like-minded people who are learning, ask questions, practice and get feedback, share media with each other and stuff like that, like share resources. You're welcome. Yes, and that'll be thanks to A. Himang, who's helping to set most of it up so far. Praise me. Calm down. Don't let the power go to your head. You don't want that, because then people will hate you. I made it. LOL. Okay, so for the future tense, let's do an example with this. So we have, I'll Are there many people who will go to the party tomorrow? This is a longer sentence, but it's not very difficult. Okay, are there many people who will go to the party tomorrow? It seems really long. It's actually not that complicated once we break it up into Korean. Let's see, what time? 3:20. Okay, I got 20 minutes to do this topic, and then I'll have to go to the quiz. I'm trying to keep these under 2 hours, and I've never done it successfully yet. So I'm hoping today I can do it. Okay. Don't make me look bad. Are there many people? So again, what we want to say is we're going to break this up into 2 parts. Who will go to the party tomorrow? So this is the type of person we're talking about. But first we just need to ask, are there many people? So I'll write it down here. 사람, I'll just say 사람이 많아요. Are there many people? 사람이 많아요. People are many. Literally, people are many. So are there many people? So what kind of people? Let's describe what kind of people. Well, these are people who will go to the party tomorrow. Let's just do this part first. Who will go? Are there people? Are there many? Okay. All right. Was I out? Oh, frozen. Okay, thank you for letting me know. I think that was probably a minute. Did you get the explanation when I did this? Did you hear the explanation when I was talking about 가요? Okay, I'll do this again because I might have cut out right when I was trying to explain that. So I'm trying to, let me break this part up so that you can understand why I put this together. We have 내일, tomorrow, 파티에 가요. Just this part up here. Tomorrow I'm going to the party. So the regular sentence, tomorrow I'm going to the party, we're going to change this to modify people. Tomorrow going to the party, people. Tomorrow we'll go to the party. So now we have, are there many people? What kind of people? Describe them to me. Well, they are people who will go. I don't know why it keeps freezing. YouTube, come on. Random, I never know when it's going to happen. Okay, anyway, so again. No, I noticed, but it might take me a few seconds in the chat. So if it freezes, say, just write F in the chat and I'll know that it's frozen. Okay, one more time really quick. So, are there many people? Well, what kind of people? Describe them for me. They are people who will go. Where are they going? Well, they're going to the party. So that's how the sentence can be broken up. Yeah, just write F. Press F to pay respects if it ever freezes, to let me know. Okay, yeah, it's random when it freezes. I never know. I can check though the video, but I only check the video like once every minute or so. I check the chat once every 30 seconds, so I think it must have just had a bad timing. I wasn't checking at the right time. 내일 파티에 갈 사람 많아요. There are many people. Yeah, if it's not frozen, don't write F, because if you write F normally, then I'm going to think that it's frozen. FRZ. No, you can just, F's fine. Okay, so let's do one more sentence for this. I have to, I'll just give you a sentence. 오늘 친구한테, which is to a friend, 줄 선물을 사야 돼요. I'll just do 살 거예요 to keep it simpler. 오늘, today, 친구한테, to a friend, this is to a friend, 줄. 줄 comes from 주다, which means to give. So, I will give to my friend today. What is it that you will give to your friend today? Well, you will give your friend today a 선물, a gift, or present. 살 거예요, which is just I will buy, or you will buy. I'll just remove the I, because it could mean whatever. So will buy. So today, to a friend, I will give a present. I will buy that present. So if we break this up into two parts in Korean, we get these two parts. 선물을 살 거예요. I'm going to buy a present. Okay? What kind of present? We can describe the present further. We can say what kind of present it is. And specifically the kind of present or the kind of gift that this is, it's a gift that I will give to a friend. 친구한테 주다. This is a present that I will give to my friend today. Or to a friend. Today, 친구한테 줄 선물을 살 거예요. Today I will buy a present that I will give to a friend. You wouldn't use any other tense besides future. If you were to say 친구한테 준, I will buy a present that I gave to a friend, doesn't really make sense, because if you already gave it to a friend, then why would you need to buy it? So it has to be will give to a friend. So these different tenses are just based on whichever one you have to use for the sentence. I'm going to buy a present that I will give to a friend today. I will buy a present that I will give to my friend today. Oh, Shadow Knight, the stream has been back for a while, but you might have to refresh if your browser doesn't automatically refresh it. The pixels are saying their goodbyes. Yeah, sometimes the YouTube network is kind of funky. I don't know. It doesn't tell me anything on the screen, though. It doesn't give me any warnings when there's problems. If you have a minute, can you re-summarize quick word order in simple sentences? I have a full 2-hour lesson last week on sentence structure, so I'm not going to do that again today. Okay, let's do one more sentence. Okay, let's see. Actually, no, I think we're good. I think let me go right to the quiz section. Oh, okay, here's a quick note. Here's a quick note for anyone who's intermediate. So is there anyone intermediate who's watching? Like who is watching this lesson and thinking like, oh, I already know all this. Is there anyone like that right now watching? Or is everyone beginners? If there's anyone like really intermediate watching who feels this is basic, let me know. Low intermediate, somewhat. Me for sure, remember, yes, Ahimon. It's wishing beta. High beginner. Okay, well, I'll give a quick overview then. I won't go into detail. You might see ton. Ton is another ending. So ignore this if you're not if you're not in intermediate already, just ignore this. Ton is another verb stem ending, and it just means past tense. So this can be used in the same way as like the un or nian past tense ending. Sorry, quick explanation. You can ignore this if you're not intermediate. This works the exact same way as this ending, but it shows past action or past description or something that was in the past that happened for a while. Past and continuing. So if you say 쓰던, like someone who wrote, it means they wrote and they used to write a lot. They continually were writing, but not now, no longer, it's in the past, but it was continuous before. That's all it means. So I won't go into detail on that since I think most people in here wouldn't be ready for that yet. But I will do a video about this in the future. So that's all that it means in case you see it. And it works the exact same way as the other form with the connecting, like, you know, meaning that or who or however you want to translate it. Okay, so I have a quiz. And the quiz is kind of a walkthrough. So I'm going to give you quiz questions and we're going to walk through them together. And we have 30 minutes to do the quiz. Awesome. I was worried we wouldn't have enough time. 전화할 사람. Perfect. Someone who will call. When do you usually stream? Every week they've been Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or Pacific Time, I guess, right now. And I also post when they'll be before they happen. But next stream will also be the same time as today. Beat you? Sure. On my screen, though, you were late. I said it before you said it on your screen. But that just might be loaded later. Okay. I like people who study. How would you say this? I like people who study. So study here is present tense. Present tense. So I like people who study. So we can break it up into two parts. Who study and I like people. What kind of people do you like? Well, I like people who study. So how would you say this? Yeah, fortunately, I tried to keep to a schedule this time and check the time more, so I was able to finish the section I wanted to in the time I did. So we actually have time to do a quiz. We don't have to rush it. 저는 공부하는 사람을 좋아해요. Yes, nice. 공부하는 사람을 좋아해요. Yes, 공부하는 사람을 좋아해요. 사람들을 좋아해요. Perfect. 공부하는 사람들을. Both are correct. Slightly different meanings though. 공부하는 사람 or 공부하는 사람들. 공부하는 사람들을 좋아해요. 공부하는 사람이 좋아요. Good, nice too. Star babe. 공부하는 사람들이, not 들이, because 좋아하다 is a action verb that is also a transitive verb. It takes an object. So it uses an object marker. So you'd have to say 사람들을. 좋아해요. So I like people. What kind of people? Well, 공부하는 사람들을 좋아해요. I like people who study. And you could put 저는 at the beginning. 저는 공부하는 사람들을 좋아해요. Matthew, it's 10던. If you need to emphasize the past tense, for that you could do 10던 with 던 that I was mentioning. I think I do have a video about my video about how to conjugate adjectives. Check it out on my channel. I have a Learn Korean lesson about adjective conjugation that also talks about 던 in the PDF at least. I believe it does. Okay, so I like people who study. Next sentence. Let's get a little harder here. Who is the student? So student, I'll just tell you, is 학생 who or that likes K-pop. K-pop is you could just write it as K-pop if you want. K-pop. So who is the student that, or who is the student who likes K-pop? How would you say this sentence? Yeah, or you could write K-pop if you want. K-pop. But just to make it easier, you can just write K with a letter. It's fine. K-pop을 좋아하는 학생이 누구예요? Adam Babe, nice. 좋아하는 K-pop? Nope, not 좋아하는 K-pop. That would mean the K-pop that I like or that someone likes. K-pop을 좋아하는 그 학생이 누구세요? Celine Turner, nice. Getting all fancy there with the honorifics. K-pop을 좋아하는 학생이 누구예요? Nice. K-pop 좋아하는 학생 누구예요? Nice. K-pop 좋아하는 학생이 누구예요? Nice. K-pop을 좋아하는 학생 누구예요? K-pop 좋아하는 학생 누구예요? K-pop. I hope some of you might be copy pasting other people. I'm not sure, but good job. You guys are doing really good. K-pop 좋아하는 학생이 누구요? Ocean Discovery, you have a typo at the end, but the rest of it is fine. 누가 K-pop을 좋아하는 학생이에요? Yeah, that's fine, Jalen too. Jalen McGill. That's another way of saying it. Who is the student who likes K-pop? Or basically who? Yeah, this is just another way to say it. 누가 K-pop을 좋아하는 학생이? Who is a student who likes K-pop? So that would be a little bit different. That would be like you really want to know who it is out of these people. 누가 K-pop 좋아하는 학생이에요? Like, it's a little backward, but yeah, it's okay. K-pop 좋아하는 학생이 누구예요? Okay. Yes, K-pop을 좋아하는 학생이 누구예요? As many of you wrote. Okay, let's get a little harder. Actually, I shouldn't say harder, but just longer. Okay. I bought the computer that Billy made. Okay, bought is buy, so 사다 to buy. The computer is, hold on. Computer is computer. How's my battery? My battery's doing great. Okay. Computer that Billy made. And again, made is 만들다. And Billy would just be Billy. So I bought the computer that Billy made. How would you make this? I probably shouldn't write my own name in red. It's usually bad luck in Korean. It's kind of like you want the person to die if you write a name in red. It's not a big deal, but Koreans wouldn't do it. So I bought the computer that Billy made. I bought the computer that Billy made. So we want to say what computer? Well, it's the computer that Billy made. How would you say this? You're making computers now? Sure, why not? I built my own computers. The last 4 computers that I bought, I built 2 for me over like 5-year period, and then 1 for my mom and 1 for my brother. I'm not good at it, but I did it. 저는 빌리 만든 컴퓨터를 샀어요. Nice, Ocean Discovery. Nice job. Or 제가, or either one. 저는 빌리 만든 컴퓨터를 샀어요. 빌리가 만든 컴퓨터를 샀어요. 제가 빌리가 만든 컴퓨터를 샀어요. Farid, nice. Kevin, Fu, 빌리가 만든 컴퓨터를 샀어요. Nice. 빌리가 만든 컴퓨터를 샀어요. 빌리가 만든 컴퓨터를 샀어요. 빌리가 만든 컴퓨터를 샀어요. I was reading while really. 빌리 씨는, not 빌리 씨는 만든, because what you want is Billy made. So, okay, another thing, I didn't point this out, but I should point this out. When you have a that someone did or that someone likes or any of these that or who sections that we're separating when we're translating, you're going to use the subject marker when it's a person. Like if you need to say he did this or he likes that, you want to mark what that is with the subject marker, not with the topic marker. So you want to use 이 or 가 99% of the time. So it wouldn't be 빌리는 만든 컴퓨터, the computer Billy made. It would be 빌리가 만든 컴퓨터. 빌리가 만든 컴퓨터. I should have mentioned this earlier because I've been giving examples with it, but I didn't mention separately that this is a thing that happens. So anytime you have a subject within this phrase, like that he does or that you wrote, the book that he wrote, if you need to say a person did it, they always use the subject marker for that. 빌리가 만든 컴퓨터를 샀어요. So I think the reason I didn't do this is because I was planning on talking about it later when I do a lesson about subject markers and topic markers. But this is a feature of how the subject marker works in that it marks the subject, not the topic of what you're talking about, but simply what does an action or what is being described. And here, you're not saying Billy is the topic of the sentence. The topic of your sentence is probably just that you bought a computer or me. I bought a computer. I did this. Then I did this. But you need to say a subject. You need to say who did it. So you simply mark that with the subject marker, which is just 이 or 가. Okay, so let's do the next sentence. Let's get a little bit harder now. let's turn up the heat, I guess. Okay. How to emphasize that the computer was made by Billy. Well, you can, if you say simply 빌리가 만든 컴퓨터, it means the computer that was made by Billy. If you didn't need to say Billy made it, you can just say I bought the computer. Or you can say a different person made if you don't need to say Billy. You could emphasize that Billy made it if you wanted to say by like saying 빌리가 만든 컴퓨터를 샀어요. Like you can change your intonation, but you wouldn't have to change your grammar. And I'll do a video about intonation in the future. There's some stuff I can teach about that, but I'm still writing a lesson about that. It might take a while. Okay, next sentence. There are many people who are living in Korea. Or let me do it simpler. There are many people who live in Korea. There are many, this many, we can do 많다 to translate. 많다, to be many. 사람 for people, or 사람들. Let's do 사람들. Live is 살다 in and Korea, 한국. In can use or 에서 actually, so let's leave that off. There are many people who live in Korea. So again, let's break this up. There are many people. Well, what kind of people? Can you describe these people to me? Yes, well, they are people who live in Korea. And there are many of them. So how would you say this? With my dog, turn up the heat. Is that a song? Is that another BTS reference? Or is this a JoJo reference? 한국에 사는 사람들 많아요. 사람, nice job. 한국에 사는 사람들이 많아요. Nice. 한국에 사는 사람들이 많아요. Nice. 한국에 사는 사람들을, not 사람들을, 사람들이. Because it's not a, it doesn't use this. Because 많다 simply means to be many. But you cannot to be many an object. You cannot to be many something. Like I cannot wake up in the morning and to be many my breakfast. It's just a descriptive verb. It just describes something. Like there is a lot of cereal in my bowl. I don't many a cereal in my bowl. You can't do anything to you can't many something. So it cannot use the object marker. Just trying to help, not bashing you. I'm sure I did the same mistake all the time when I was first learning Korean. I got these mixed up. I got all the topic markers and the subject markers confused all the time. Is an enemy stand? Yeah. Go. Please write the final complete sentence after. Okay. Yeah, many of you have already written it, but I'll write it up here as well. First we have who live in Korea. 한국에 사는, or actually for writing it up here, I'm going to write it a little differently. 살고 있는, who are living in Korea. For 살고 있다, to currently be living. I'm using the progressive tense that I brushed over really quick. But it can just be 사는 is fine too. I just want to make it simple enough that you guys could guess it using only what I've taught you so far. But I'll write it up here a little more complicated. Just know that I'm using the progressive form here. 살고 있다 instead of just 살다. 한국에 살고 있는 사람들이 많아요. There are many people who are currently living in Korea. Or as I mentioned before, for 살다, this isn't related to the lesson. You can say 한국에 or 한국에서 for to live. 살다 is an exception. You can use either 에 or 에서. You can pick. It's just an exception to the rule of using 에 and 에서. Other verbs you have to use one or the other depending on what it is. But 살다 can be either one. Okay, let me check the chat. 한국에 사는 고양이 많아요. Yes, there are many cats who live in Korea. Nice sentence, Ocean. 한국에 사는 많이 사람. No, you can't say that because 많이 is an adverb. 많이 is an adverb and it has to be used to describe a verb. If you wanted to use that sentence though, you're not too far off the mark, Luciana. You could say, so I said 많이 is an adverb, but you could use an adjective. 많은, many. There are many people who live in Korea. You can say it like that too, 많은 as an adjective. But 많이 would have to be 많이 있어요 as an adverb directly before a verb. And I also did a class about sentence structure, how to use adverbs last week. So you can check that out for a review. And you can skip ahead to the section about adverbs. Okay, so I think I got one more sentence. This is good. We're actually doing fine on time, and I'm going to have some time to take questions. Nice. I think I did a better job preparing than last time. I need to throw this away and get a new one. Is there any way I can clean this? Because it's getting like, even my eraser is getting dirty. I need an eraser for my eraser. Do they sell those? An eraser? And then when that gets dirty, I can buy an eraser to clean it. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Okay, so the last sentence we're going to be doing is, I want to meet a guy or a girl, you can pick either one, who can speak Korean. This is a long sentence. This will be the last one that we do for today. And let me show you some of the definitions here. So I want to meet. So first we have meet is 만나다. 만나다. Guy would be 남자. And girl would be 여자. Speak Korean is 한국어를 하다. They don't need to say 말하다. You can just say 하다. To do literally means to do Korean. To do Korean. So do Korean means to speak Korean actually. So can is the 수 있다 form. I'm just going to write can speak Korean as one section so that you don't have to worry about that. 한국어를 할 수 있다 means can speak Korean. So if you wanted to say, let's check there, okay? If you wanted to say something like, yes, I can speak Korean. 네, 한국어를 할 수 있어요. This marker's dying. Okay, 한국어를 할 수 있어요. So 한국어를 할 수 있다 means can speak Korean. So who can speak Korean? I want to meet. And the I want to meet, I'll also give you this part too. I'll just give you this part as well, so that way you don't have to worry about what the form is. Want to meet is 만나고 싶다. So you have 만나다 becomes 만나고 싶다. Means to want to meet. 만나고 싶어요 means I want to meet. You just conjugated it. Sorry, it's like really messy, but it should be okay. Okay, so we have I want to meet 만나고 싶다, a guy, 남자 or girl, 여자, who can speak Korean. 한국어를 할 수 있다. So I want to meet a guy or girl who can speak Korean. How would you say that? Some of you are already writing it. 한국어를 할 수 있는 사람을 만나고 싶어요. I want to meet a person who can speak Korean. Nice. 한국어를 할 수 있는 남자를 만나고 싶어요. I want to meet a guy who can speak Korean. 한국어를 할 수 있는 남자, 여자 만나고 Kevin Fu, oopsie, I see you have typo. 한국어를 할 수 있는 사람을 만나고 싶어. 한국어를 말하는, you don't need to say 말하다, just 하다. Like I said for speaking. You could say 한국어를 말하다 to speaking Korean. It sounds a little repetitive. It's better just to say 한국어를 하다 by itself. To do, literally to do Korean. 수 있는 남자를 만나고 싶어요. 한국어를 할 수 있는 여자를 만나고 싶어요. 만나고, 한국어랑 러시아를 잘 할 수 있는 여자를 만나고 싶어요. Or 여자가 만나고 싶어요 is actually okay too. Dormant kid, nice, really nice sentence. Awesome sentence. I want to meet a girl who speaks Korean and Russian. That's an awesome sentence. Perfect. Grade A. 저는 한국어 할 수 있는 여자를 만나고 싶어요. Nice. The ocean discovery. 만나고 싶어 한국어를 할 수 있는 사람이에요. Nope. Dixie's attic. That would be reversed. Because you would say, I want to meet at the end of the sentence. So you want, basically the sentence is, I want to meet. 만나고 싶어요. Who do you want to meet? Well, I want to meet a girl. So 여자를, or 여자가, as someone wrote, but we're just focusing like that. 여자를 만나고 싶어요. What kind of girl? Well, 한국어를 할 수 있는, 저는, if you want, optionally, 한국어를 할 수 있는 여자를 만나고 싶어요. So I want to meet. Well, who do you want to meet? Well, I want to meet a girl. What kind of girl? Well, I want to meet a girl who can speak Korean. So notice how in Korean you describe things by putting it directly before what it is you want to describe. So although it looks backward from English, in English we also do adjectives first. We say pretty monkey in English. Pretty first, monkey second. You know? But in Korean they do all descriptions before what they come. Whatever they come before is the description. So including what it is that you're describing doesn't have to be an adjective, but it can be a verb. So 한국어를 할 수 있는, here is an adjective actually. A girl who speaks Korean, or a Korean speaking, if you want to change it into an adjective, a Korean speaking girl. Notice it still comes, Korean speaking comes before girl. So it's just like English actually, except that, you know, except that it's not. It's exactly like English. Okay, we check the sentence. 저는 남자를 한국어를 할 수 있어요. Nope, that is not correct. What you said is I, a guy, and then I can speak Korean. So you have to remember that it's separated to I want to meet a guy or girl. What kind? Well, a guy or girl who can speak Korean. So 한국어를 가르치는 여자를 만나고 싶어요. Nice, William Kelly. Awesome sentence. I want to meet a girl who teaches Korean. William, I'll give you another one. How could you say, I want to meet a girl who taught Korean? Taught. I'm sure you can do that. Why is that? 전화할 사람? Anyone want to? It doesn't mean anyone want to call. It means anyone will call. Who will literally means anyone who will call. 전화할, because it's the future tense. 저는 한국어를 할 수 있는 거북이를 만나고 싶어요. Okay, if you can find a turtle who can speak Korean, that would be awesome. 가르친, yes, Morgan F, nice. 저는 피아노를 칠 수 있는 사람을 만나고 싶어요. Nice, Andreas Jacobson. All right, I think you guys, I think for the most part, you guys have got it. That it's anything that describes a noun, whether that's a verb or an adjective, anything goes before it, and you can say whatever you want in past, present, or future tense. So hopefully this lesson was helpful. Next week, what do you guys want to learn next week? I was thinking of doing, actually, I already did the two ideas that I was suggested the most, which was sentence structure, and this one. I got suggested to do this topic a lot. So what do you guys want to learn? Let me know, and I'll put up a voting quiz sometime this week where you guys can vote on it. A. Himan, can I ask you to write or take note of some of the topics that people suggest? Not everything, just like kind of pay attention to what people are saying in the chat. And if they suggest a lot of the exact same things, just let me know what a couple things that they've suggested so I can make a little voting, a little poll. What am I trying to say? So that I can ask people what they want to vote on for next lesson, because I'm not quite sure what everyone wants to do. So yeah, let me know right now what you want to learn for next week's class. We actually finished in 2 hours. We finished in under 2 hours. I'm so happy. Okay, so yeah, let me know what you want to do for next lesson. And in the meantime, I did want to make a short announcement. I'm not going to post the link yet, but basically it's a chat room. If you're not familiar with Discord, it's just an online chat room. And it's a big chat room with lots of features like sending photos and sharing information and doing voice chat. And I think they even have a video chat feature they're adding. Anyway, So we've made Himang and I are putting together a Discord chat room for Korean learning, where you can come and hang out and study Korean. You can practice Korean. We have word of the day. We have some bots in there that help out with giving information and translations. So you don't have to go to other websites to translate really quick things. You can ask any level of questions. Members also get access to a special chat room. People who are like YouTube members and Patreon members. If you're a Patreon follower, you'll already have this link. If you're a member on YouTube, I'm going to post it today. So YouTube members, check out the community. What am I writing? The community tab on my channel. There's a little tab that's called community. And if you're a member, you'll be able to see a link to the Discord today. I'll post it after this, right after this finishes. And for everyone else, I'm going to be posting it, I don't know, maybe after a week or a few days after we're still organizing it. We're getting it set up. And there's word of the day where you can practice every day. There's a new word and you can practice with it and get feedback. And it's going to be really cool. You can practice with other people anytime you want. If you have a Korean question at 3 a.m., you can log in and see who's there and ask and get help with them. And it's also going to be guided by moderators, so it's not just a free-for-all. So it should be pretty helpful. And yeah, we'll all have access to that. It'll be a free open chat room. Right now it's already open, but we're just doing tests to, tweak it, make it more organized and easier. Yes, it works on laptop, and they have a phone app. Works for everything. Yeah, as Saddam said, it's just like Skype, but better. Think of it as like Skype. It's like Skype, but it doesn't automatically turn on when you turn on your computer, and it doesn't stop you from closing it when you try to cancel the app. Anyway, so I'll do this also soon, so pay attention to that, and you'll see a Discord link. Next week, again, Sunday at 2 p.m., let me know what you want to learn for next class. We'll do another 2-hour lesson. I'm going to read comments in the chat program right here just for a few minutes, and then we'll end the stream. So thanks everyone for coming. Discord work on laptop? Yes, works on laptop. Think me voice chatting. Yes, there is a voice chatting. There's several voice chatting channels where you can chat with other people in voice. And I will be hanging out there as well. Not all the time, but I have to make videos and stuff and prepare for lessons. But in my free time, I also stop by the chat and participate there and answer questions. Yes. Okay, we're back. I'd like to do a full lesson on how to do... Okay, I got it. Yeah, you guys are still saying F, but we're good. We're back. We're back. Yeah, I'd like to do a full lesson someday about honorifics as well and politeness levels. I think that's a gigantic topic, but that would be something I'd like to cover too. I want to speak in the Korean chat, but also at the same time, I'm worried I won't be able to. Yeah, that's kind of the point, is that you won't be able to hold a conversation until you've learned how to hold a conversation. And you can't learn how to hold a conversation until you try to hold a conversation first. So it's like, back and forth. You have to practice bad conversations in order to get good at doing conversations. You can't just jump in and be good at having a Korean conversation and then think that you'll practice and get better. It's not how it works. You have to be bad to get better. You can't just exist. You can't just suddenly be good and have Korean conversations. You have to start bad. Everyone starts off with bad Korean conversations, and then you get better at those with practice. How to say iron brew? I don't even know what iron brew means. 잘 가르쳐주셔서 감사합니다. Hey, thanks for coming, Willie and Kelly. 왜냐면 우리 가르쳐주셔서 감사. Oh, yeah, I see. Dixie-datic. Cool, cool. Is this philosophy class? Yes. I throw in a little bit of philosophy, life lessons every day. I'm young too, so what do I know? But I do know about Korean, so. You scrub toothpaste on your erasers to clean it? Oh, interesting. Wouldn't that make it all wet and with toothpaste? How many Korean sentence patterns should I learn to be fluent? All of them, all of the common ones, but I don't know how many. I've never counted. I'm sure there's at least over 100 and probably less than 1,000, or maybe 200. It's a British drink? Oh, okay. I'm not familiar with British drinks. Struggling to figure out what the sentence means, even though I know all the words. That would be grammar. That would be grammar. Then you would have to learn individual lessons about what the grammar forms are that you don't understand. A fizzy drink. What is a fizzy drink? Do you mean like soda? I know every like state in the US and every country refers to soda like a different way. It's like one of those words that changes depending on where you're from. Rubbing alcohol will clean your eraser. Interesting. Do your books go up to advanced? No, my third book goes up to, I'd say, a low intermediate level. If you practice everything in all three books and you know them like the back of your hand, then it would definitely be mid-intermediate. You'd have full conversations, although you're not going to be fluent, but you'd be able to have conversations. Pop, yeah, some people say soda or pop or just Coke, even if it's not Coca-Cola. Fizzy drink, carbonated beverage. Some people, I heard lemonade is one thing that I heard some people call it. Like lemonade for something that's for soda. Like what is, no. It's all wrong. It's soda. I'm just joking. It's all however they want to say it. Hey, T-Cart. Hey, thanks. Get a cold one on me, Billy. Oh, that's thanks. That's awesome. I will. I'll get a drink after this finishes. I actually have a ginger beer, which is really good. It's not beer, but it's called ginger beer. It's like root beer, and it's got ginger in it. It's really good. If you've ever tried it, Bundaberg is a brand of ginger beer that tastes amazing. That's my favorite soda. If you guys want to wonder, like, what does Billy drink? What does Billy like to drink? I like Bundaberg ginger beer. And carbonated water is good too. Club soda. Yeah, thanks, T-Cart. With gas. Yeah, it's enough to drive down to go buy one also. Ginger beer. Yeah, it sounds gross, but it's good. I mean, unless you hate ginger, you wouldn't like it. But if you like ginger, you like think, oh, ginger smells nice. It's really good. I love ginger beer. Yeah. I've heard Koreans call it kok, but it translates. Yeah, you have to be careful. Are you able to use a transparent screen with markers to do lessons? Unfortunately, no. The transparent screen is a pain to use. I cannot erase. It takes a while. It takes several minutes to erase. So that's why my writing is so bad in those videos. I mean, it's bad normally, but it's worse in those videos because I can't erase and redo it. I have a special cleaner to make it clean, but even if I use the special cleaner, it's still dirty because the sheet that I have, the clear screen. Oh, wow. Hey, Kylie Kim. Hey, thanks. Thanks, definitely girl, Kylie, with the 2 E's. Thanks, I really appreciate it. Love your YouTube channel. I'm gonna get a nice drink before I finish. Ginger ale is really good too. Yeah, ginger ale is nice too, but ginger beer, I think they're both good, but they're different. Ginger beer is like, you drink it just by itself, and that's your whole drink. That's it. Ginger ale is kind of like you can have some ginger ale, then you can stop and have some water, then you can have something else. It's lighter. But ginger beer is just, that's the drink. It's much stronger ginger flavor. Yeah, thanks, Kylie. I really appreciate it. I do these streams completely for free. You're not obligated to pay me anything, or you're not obligated to become a Patreon or a channel member, except for like buying my books. Everything else I do is free. So I really appreciate any support you guys give. Whether you give it or not, I just like that you guys come here. I wouldn't want to do the stream if nobody came. It would be really awkward. Yeah, I appreciate it to both of you guys, Kylie and before to T-Cart. Has too much sugar though. Yeah, I think the Bundaberg one is okay, but I've had a lot of kinds of ginger beer and some of them do have more sugar, but it is sweet. 마시는 사람을 좋아해요. Close. You had a typo there. You hit enter too soon. You used cleaning ISO. Oh, okay, isopropyl alcohol. I'll try it. I'll try that with alcohol because this is getting too dirty that every time I erase, it's like leaving marks more than it's cleaning. It's just kind of like pushing everything around. So I'll try to clean that right after this stream. Board cleaner. Oh yeah, I have board cleaner. I just haven't used it yet. Yeah, lemonade in Korea, that's right. Lemonade, anything ending in aid, if you go to Korea and you see a menu, and you see something that says aid, or some word that ends in aid, it means carbonated drink. It doesn't mean, like lemonade, of course, is just lemon, sugar, and water. And it's served cold. But lemonade in Korean means carbonated lemonade, if that makes sense. You could also find regular lemonade in Korea too, but you'd have to probably ask for it. You'd have to ask, like, is there carbonated water in this? Is there soda in this? And soda in Korean is actually saida, which comes from cider. I'm not sure why, but saida means soda, or carbonated beverage, however you want to say it. They call that saida. Ginger 마시는 사람들을 좋아해요. Nice, Will and Kelly. Yes, that's exactly. I like people who drink ginger beer. What would lemonade minus carbonation? Well, it would also be called lemonade. You could call it lemonade though too, but you might have to specify to like a menu might have a section called aid on it. The section would be called aid, and it would have lemonade, like 포도에이드, or 자몽, which is grapefruit. 자몽에이드 is one of my favorite drinks to get in Korean cafes. It's grapefruit aid, just because it's simple and nice. But if you just wanted to have juice, you want to look at the different. Wait, what am I doing? 생과일. 생과일 means fresh fruit, or they literally mean raw fruit, unprocessed fruit. So if you look for a menu item that has 생과일 next to it, it means it's just the juice. So you can have 생과일 juice. 생과일 juice, which means just juice. So if you wanted lemonade, you could specify. You could ask them, 거기 사이다 들어가나요? Is there cider in it? Is there soda in it? And then they'd say, yes, of course, you idiot. Of course, lemonade has soda in it. They would think, of course it does. It's aid. In Korean, aid means something with carbonation in it. It's a soda in it. So if you wanted it just to get, like if you just wanted lemonade, or you just wanted, what's the word? 자몽, grapefruit juice. You would just say 자몽 주스. And you could say 자몽 생과일 주스. Like fresh grapefruit juice, not grapefruit aid. Because sometimes, like on a hot day, you don't want like soda. You just want juice, or something cold and refreshing. No, saida would be soda, but depending where you're from, that might be the word for lemonade. I know some places in the U.S. call it all lemonade. Let's turn this up. There we go. Lemon fresh juice. Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, so thanks all for coming. I don't want to make this too long because we actually finished the lesson 10 minutes ago, which I'm really happy about. We didn't have to go over. So anyone watching, if you're watching this stream, if you want to watch it again later, I'd recommend doing 1.5 speed or two times speed so that you can get it over within an hour. And again, I'll be putting these notes. I'll edit the notes, and I'm going to put these up on Patreon for all the Patreon people. That's like for even the cheapest one. And oh, sweet, Zilly, a new member. I was just about to close, but I just got a new member. Thank you, Zilly. Welcome to the membership. So you will also have access to the Discord link, which I'm going to post after just a few minutes. So after I finish the stream, I'm going to go on my computer. I'm going to post the Discord, the chat, the Korean channel to the community tab. So you'll be able to join that, and we'll hang out there. So thanks everyone again for coming. I'll see you guys again next time. 그럼 다음에 또 봐. See you guys. Can we just figure out how do I close the stream now? Oh, membership is just the join button on YouTube. So it's only been there for about a month. So I'll see you guys later. Take care. Kiket's going to turn it off for me. No, it's not that one, Kiket. It's the other button.